So the Supreme Court strikes the BCCI possibly where it hurts most, limiting their financial powers and freedom, appointment of an auditor, supervising contracts through the Lodha Committee, and most of all, cutting the disbursement of funds to the state associations. Our senior editors join me, Gaurav Kalra, as well as Sharda Ugra. Gaurav, just first you, similar bells were rung in the last hearing that they would take action against the states. Where does that leave things now? Where does that leave the board?
Well, there was a doomsday scenario for the BCCI that was foreseen in a sense almost by the Lodha panel when they said that they are not implementing the July 18 order, and as a result of that, these administrators must be superseded. That is the doomsday scenario. There seems to be some reluctance on the part of the Supreme Court to implement that with a certain speed, if you like. They are giving the BCCI as much breathing space as they possibly can. So the administrators stay in place, but by restricting their financial powers to the extent that they have, also by giving them the message that the state associations do not have any financial powers anymore till they implement the Lodha panel recommendations, they are sending an important message out, Ronak, because the top 4 administrators also run their state associations.
Yes, I was there for the last hearing, Sharda, and they did say that removing the office bearers is the extreme resort, and that they want to try everything else till then. By doing this in a threefold way, not just cutting the state funds, but also appointing an auditor, but also ensuring that the contracts are supervised, how does that leave the administration? Will they find themselves in a position of great difficulty now that the next hearing is only on the 5th of December?
I think, what they will try and do is sort of dig their heels in as much as they can, because what are the top 4 administrators fighting for? They're basically fighting for their positions, and which are currently at the moment they are still protected in that sense. But now it's almost like that the ground beneath their feet is slowly being eaten away by these Supreme Court orders one after the other, and literally the space with which they can operate and exercise that power and their position is being limited. I think in a sense, the BCCI may be relieved that this has been pushed slightly further. They've been given a little bit more time, because everyone seems to think that the magic pill for the BCCI is if after Justice Thakur retires after he serves his term in January. But maybe they are, like Gaurav said, they are reluctant to strike down those posts and appoint an administrative panel. But to hit at their finances is indeed taking a very big blow. But let's see how much they can, how stubborn they are going to be, because they are being told now you have to turn up in court and you have to answer us and give us an affidavit and show us proof, and it's literally going almost eyeball to eyeball at this point with how far the BCCI thinks it can push the court.
Yes, we have to admit here that they have got time, so it is a good bit of lawyering done by Kapil Sibal. But now, Gaurav, what is the tactic? He's assured the court that he'll provide an undertaking stating what measures they can implement, what they can't, and in what time frame. Can we expect a change in the approach of the board?
So it seems it's a bit like a rubber band. They can stretch it as far as possible that the BCCI can think they can, but whether that rubber band snaps or not in the Supreme Court is now becoming the important question, because one of the options on the table, Ronak, was the contempt of court proceedings that the Lodha panel wanted to initiate against them. Also, it does seem that the relationship between the Lodha panel, the smaller, the committee mandated by the Supreme Court to implement their order, and the BCCI is not the greatest. Remember that whole incident about when the bank funding was stopped and the BCCI interpreted it as saying that we cannot run our cricket. Now I wonder if the BCCI will come back with a strategy saying we've got a big series coming up, we've got to run it. Can you tell the state associations that you have no funding to run it, and then do the state associations find themselves in a difficult situation? Some of the state associations run by the BCCI officials themselves. So I think this brinksmanship, I don't see the BCCI giving this up.
Yeah, similar last question to you, Sharda. One last chance to fall in line, or just another way to buy more time?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think they're also testing Justice Thakur's patience and seeing how much of a room he's going to get them. But at one point, you have to see that, okay, he may not remove them completely from power because it's seen as an extreme step, like you said, but by removing the power, maybe that's the way he'll hope for the Lodha panel to actually push through its recommendations. And you have to ask yourself, another question is, how long can the Lodha panel be involved in this exercise? These are 3 retired judges, and how long are they going to give their energy and their attention to it? There must be more important matters that they've been asked to arbitrate in and deal with. And are they going to keep stepping in and running Indian cricket till eternity? It's not possible. So it's literally like we're reaching the end of the rope, but we don't know whether that is the end of the rope for the BCCI, specifically for those administrators, or whether it's for the actual BCCI itself and how it is run.
All right, only time will tell as this saga between the Supreme Court and the BCCI continues. Sharda, Ugra, thank you so much for your thoughts. Gaurav, Kalra, you too. We'll of course get them as we hear more and as this story continues to progress.